Morning. I'm going to introduce you to one of my favourite old classics. I think we can say that about this one. This is an XKR as it happens, but the body style is commonly known in Jaguar circles as the X100. And I think of the modern Jags, relatively modern, this is a gorgeous looking thing. It was built to sort of recreate the E-Type, so it has the sort of fishy mouth, for want of a better word. You can tell this is the supercharged version of the car because it's got the louvered bonnet, and so as an XK8 it comes with a 4-litre engine. As an XKR it comes with a 4-litre supercharged engine. And this is one of the last 4 litres on an O2 plate, I think. I'm correct in saying. I think they were only ran for another year or maybe 2 after this, and they were upgraded to the 4.2 litre version of the same engine, which I'll have a quick squint at the engine in a minute. This one's got the rather nice BBS split rim alloys on it, 20-inch wheels, and partly because it's also got the, in fact I'll turn you around, it's got the optional Jaguar brake calipers on it, which add to it a bit more. So this car's done about 124,000, it's just clocked up. It's had quite a lot of body work done back in 2016. It's got a great raft of paperwork. We've just done the wheels, that were just painted this back corner because it was just looking a bit scruffy, and it's by no means a show winner. It's just a nice usable car, and it's cheap fun, really cheap fun. The interior on this one is black. There's various other lighter coloured interiors. Interiors are interiors, it's whatever floats your boat, but you get a nice wooden rimmed steering wheel. You get the XKR embossed in the steering, in the airbag, if that's what it is. 124.03 miles. This one's got the better middle dash, in my opinion. So at this sort of stage you were starting to get sat-nav fitted in cars, and so if you had one of the from the factory with sat-nav fitted, in place of these 3 gauges you got a horrible oblong screen, and you lost the 3 round clocks, and as usual the sat-nav's very outdated nowadays, and the 3 clocks look a bit better. And interestingly, well, the dash was designed to look like a Spitfire wing, because these cars were made in the same factory as built Spitfires. So there you go. It has got back seats. They are a complete waste of time, as you can see. And this is the convertible version, on account of the fact that the roof is all currently hidden under there. The roofs on these cars are absolutely brilliant. They don't leak. You don't get any noise through, wind noise much through them. It really is a lovely, lovely place to be, and it's quite a high performance place to be as well, thanks to the mighty supercharged 4 litre. Now the cars, I've not driven a hard top, but I would imagine if it's like any other hard top compared to the convertible version, if there is one, you get that scuttle rattle on the convertible. They just don't handle quite the same as the hard tops do. However, here is the Supercharger sitting on top of the mighty 4 litre V8, and you also, with the XKR, can't remember if you get it on the XK8, but anyway, it has the Jaguar's adaptive suspension system. You can see that because there's an electric wire going to the top of the strut at both sides. That signifies it's got what Jaguar rather amusingly call the CATS system. And it's a 370 horsepower. The standard car is XK8 4 litre is 300 horsepower from memory, and these are 370 or 375, something in that sort of region. But they are a gorgeous looking thing. I'm going to go around it one more time. I bought this one because I thought it sounded cheap at the time, and I've got another one with a light coloured interior, which I prefer personally, which we've had a lot of fun in. I've been to the Spa Classic in it, been up to Sky in it, been all over the place in it. And it looks identical to this one. It's a slightly earlier car. It's a 2000, or it may be even a 99 car. So this is a little bit newer, and I'll show you. It's cheap fun. I've just sold this to my mate, rightly or wrongly, 6.5 grand with MOT and ready to rock. Just had the wheels all done up, and to make it, and just generally tidied it up a bit, giving it a spruce up. So I'll just show you around one or two things you need to watch out for if you're going to buy an XK8. And if you are going to buy an XK8 or an XKR, like all these older Jaguars, you need to watch out for rust. The worst place on these is under the front floor pans. And if you go under the front floor pan, I don't know if I can show you this, but I'll have a go. Ooh. Underneath here, and you probably can't see, but there's a triangular plate welded on. And rather annoyingly, at least I think it's annoying, it was only there to carry the car when it was on the production line. So the gripper, for want of a better word, went underneath, and it locked into a hole in the middle of this triangular plate that was welded onto the floor pan. And that's the only reason it was there, so I've been told. And that is the worst place for these cars rotting out. That triangular plate rots between the floor pan and the plate itself, because it gathers all the salt and rubbish off the front wheels, and rots out. So as I said to you before, this car's had quite a lot of bodywork done. Sills are good. The other place to look out for on these, a good sign of rust, they catch. You can probably see this one's got a few stones in there now. Sorry, I wasn't showing you properly. In there, just in front of the rear wheel, there's a little lip, and if the car's got a lot of rust, that lip won't even be there. This one is, and it's reasonably good. But what else do you need to watch out for on these? There isn't really too much. Some people sort of the bumpers are plastic, and you can often see that the paint colours don't match. They've a huge boot. I mean, they're a super practical car. You can get loads in the boot. You could easily get a couple of sets of golf clubs in there. Brilliant weekend away car. I've driven the other one through the middle of London. Great for sightseeing with the roof up. And the roofs, we've got the tonneau cover on here, which you just covers up the roof and saves it flapping about, although a lot of people don't even bother with that. That pops up and folds. You just fold that up and stick it in the boot. Press the switch down here, and up comes the roof, and it locks in on the centre hook here and the two side pins. So it's a really good seal. These are always a problem on these older XKs. These are aluminium, and they just tend to bubble and rust a little bit. And it's usual wheel arches. Again, this one's pretty good, but you've just got to keep an eye on it. These are the wheels to have, but beware, they're really expensive to update. And these have just been done. They're a bit pitted, unfortunately, but this silver ring around the outside is the worst bit. It's 125 quid each for that, so it sort of doubles the cost of the refurb on your wheels. And headlights are a little bit of a problem. These are got some condensation in them, which is quite common on these cars. and the reflectors on the high beam aren't brilliant, but that's the only thing with these Jags now. You can't get the parts new, so you're looking at buying them. There's quite a lot of guys are breaking them for parts, and that's where you have to go to get your bits a lot of the time for some of the specialist stuff. And just beware as well, they have a headlamp adjuster, height adjuster, and there it is, just above the radio knob, and it's an MOT. I had on my other car, failed its MOT because the headlamp adjuster on one headlight had stopped working, and that's a fail on a car with headlamp adjusters. You can't just disconnect it, so we had to put another headlamp on. So bodywork, watch out for electrics, headlamps. The engines used to have a reputation for they've got Nicosil liners, or they had Nicosil liners in the early days, but now I think all those cars have got through the system. They were recalled back in the day under warranty, unless you were unlucky enough to get a car that hadn't had that done. But if it hadn't had that done, it failed anyway. Nowadays I don't really think it's a thing. But isn't that just a lot of car for $6.5 grand? And that's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, maybe they're not the cheapest to run, but these big engines, capable of doing good mileage, you know, higher mileage. I think everyone gets a little bit obsessed with the I'll just shut the door. Everyone gets a little bit obsessed with how low mileage done, and often that means a car's sat around and done nothing. It can be worse than it doing some motorway miles. But isn't this just a gorgeous shape? What a lovely car. And other colours are available, and it's, you know, to me, you've just got to decide whether you want an X100 or an X150, the newer, more angular looking car. Bit more money, although you're perhaps more likely to find one, you know, in decent RAF. But you really need to get underneath these cars, check the sills, check the floor pans, just check in general for rust. This one, as I say, this one's got a raft of paperwork. It had about $4.5–5 grand spent on it in 2016 on bodywork. So it's had a lot of things done, and it hasn't done a huge mileage since then. So there you go. That is a Jaguar X100 XKR, and what a lot of cheap fun I think you could have in one of those. So it's definitely worth a look out. Brilliant summer motoring with the soft top version, and very civilised cruising in either the soft top or the hard top coupe. So yeah, get one bought. I would. Well, I have. So here we go. Thought I'd just have to give you a little bit of a taste of the XKR from the driver's seat, with the roof down, so hopefully you can hear what I'm saying. But they're quite a civilised place to be, roof up or down, and everything's electric, so the steering column operates electrically, up, down, in and out, and it also remembers part of the seat memory system, remembers where you like it. So if you have it set on auto, when you switch off, it has what I call the fat man position, where it lifts the steering wheel up and forward out of your way, and then when you jump back in, as soon as you put the key in, the steering wheel comes out to meet you. So yeah, I find that quite a useful feature, to be fair. They're all automatic. They've got this J-gate, as Jaguar called it, 5-speed auto, which has a sports mode. You've got cruise control. The gauges were famously designed for idiots, pretty much. So it turned out that back in the olden days, when you had gauges that accurately showed the running temperature of the vehicle and the oil pressure and all these wonderful things, but the fact that the people driving the cars didn't always understand how to read them and would often take cars in when there was no fault. So the oil pressure gauge and the battery gauge and the water temperature gauge on these cars shows normal within a range of settings, and only it's more of a warning symbol, what's the word, semaphore, rather than the light. They have a light as well, so if anything goes wrong they go all the way to the bad side, whereas normally, as this one is at the minute, they just run dead on normal. Lots of toys, aircon obviously, heated seats, aircon system works really well on these. Some of the more extraneous electric stuff, the mirrors don't always work very well, as in you can see what's behind you but you can't adjust them electrically always reliably. That's one thing that I've found anyway. And unless you buy an absolute pristine car, that's something else to check. Trim can come a bit loose round the sort of material around the windscreen can come a bit loose, but the interiors wear reasonably well. When you press the sports mode, it changes up in gear a little bit quicker than normal. You can also change it manually through this J-gate system, which works pretty well. And I don't know, the headrests. So these are the later seats, a slightly different style to the earlier cars, which is most notable in the headrest, because the later cars have a more traditional headrest, whereas the early cars, the headrest is sort of built into the seat and it's fixed and it's unadjustable, whereas these go up and down. But usually the up and down function has stopped working, and when you fold the seat forward to access the rear seats that you can't use, they make a whirring sound but nothing happens, because what they're supposed to be doing is lowering the headrest as the seat goes forward and then putting it back up again to where it was when you finish. So there's some trick stuff on the car. The worst one is probably the windows. They've got automatic open close on the door, so when you open the door the windows drop slightly, allow you to open the door. When you close the door they should go back up again and seal perfectly. If you've had a flat battery or the battery changed, then you've got to relearn the windows what to do, and that means cycling them up and down for 2 or 3 cycles and holding the button once the windows come to the fully up position or fully down position for 5 seconds before you move the wheel in the opposite direction, and that's supposed to let the computer relearn what the parameters of the window, but it doesn't always work. But it's quite a common thing on these older XK100s anyway, and it's on lots of other cars that work in the same way. The Bentley Continental works the same way. There's quite a few cars that have these pillarless doors, and to get the windows to seal, once the door's closed, they force the window up the last few millimeters to make a seal. But anyway, there you go. You can get a windbreaker in the back here. They're not very common on these. Just saves your hair getting blown about. And also, I forgot to say, flat cap's essential when driving an XK convertible especially, so you look the part. But yeah, once we get out of these speed limit areas, we can open the taps, so to speak, and let her kick on. And I don't know whether you'll hear it, but you can hear the supercharger whine when you accelerate. So I've pressed the sport button, little lights come on the switch. It's the only way you know you're in sport mode. and there she goes. And we're quickly up to the speed limit, and if I'm honest, a little bit beyond it as well. So they really do go well, these cars. They're brilliant for overtaking. You're quickly past anyone that's in your way. Quickly past. Great stuff. Stop me and buy one is the answer. Thoroughly recommend it. One thing I did forget to say was, when you are travelling with the roof down, then I've found you really need about 15 degrees external temperature and some sunshine, and we've got neither today. External temperature is 12 degrees. It's sort of a bit hazy, sunshiny, but it's more cloudy than that really. And so you probably travel with the seat heaters on and the temperature wound right up if you're going with the roof down, as I am at the minute. But it's great fun. Great fun. Just better fun. The hotter it is, the better it is.